I just got back from Google's exclusive Marketing Live keynote at their headquarters at the Bayview campus. They invited me to get a first-hand look at some of the new features they're rolling out and obviously attend the keynote or the Google Marketing Live, which most of you probably live streamed, but it was super awesome to be there on premise, on site, and see everything. And I also got to even do a couple product demos, walk around the campus a little bit. It was super cool. They had like a whole festival set up, but the main thing, obviously, we're going to be talking about here in this video, what's new. What is coming? What's next for Google? What's next for Google Ads, Google Search, and obviously, most of all, how is Gemini going to be integrated into Google Ads and just everyday how we search? After sitting through the presentations, talking through the product teams, and even doing a couple of demos and trying it out for myself, there's going to be one massive takeaway that you need to know. The standard Google search that we've all been using for, 15 years now, is fundamentally changing and shifting to incorporate Gemini, Google AI, or as they're going to be calling it, their AI search. Like I said, Google's going to be shifting away from a simple type of keyword and then get a couple, RSAs or get a couple links in the traditional search feed. Instead, it's going to be more conversational. It's going to be more of an interactive feed powered by Gemini and AI search. As you're probably already doing yourself, you're starting to ask longer questions. You're starting to have a more of a conversational approach when you're looking or searching for things. Perhaps you're already using something like Chat, Gemini, or Claude to find answers. Maybe instead of typing something like remodelers near me, you're starting to be more conversational. You're starting to be more specific. You're starting to say things like remodelers in the Bay Area that specialize in kitchens with financing offers or something. The point is, you're shifting the way that you're searching for what you need to, and so is Google. This is now going to be called AI mode, and you kind of see a little bit of the snippet here on my screen, which we'll dive into much more here in a minute, but it's definitely going to be changing the way people look for local service businesses, services, and of course products if you're in e-commerce, and it's really just changing the way search is in general. So if you run an agency, a local service company, home service, or if you're even in e-commerce and you're trying to get your foot in the door here, you cannot afford to get caught off by this. You have to have 2 feet on the ground and be ready for this shift. And I promise you, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing overwhelming. It's definitely going to take some getting used to, but there are good things coming. So I'm going to go ahead and in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 biggest takeaways from this AI search overhaul. And obviously we'll discuss more about the individual features. And yeah, let's just go ahead and let's dive right in. All right, let's take a look at takeaway number 1, which is kind of just segueing off of what I was just discussing, but we can obviously look at the article here and discuss it more so. But the biggest thing right here, kind of a forced, or not, I wouldn't maybe use the word forced, but there's definitely more of a transition into AI Max and kind of leaning away from just super short tail keywords. Obviously, AI Max bakes in a lot of things, baking in AI ads, AI overview, broad match, and a couple other things, but this is really transitioning to AI Max and less focus on short tail keywords. One of the statistics they dropped on stage that kind of caught my attention was that AI mode on Google now has over 1 billion monthly users, which is pretty crazy, and that's also a pretty crazy data point if you think about it for what that's actually doing to fuel Gemini and fuel Google and just fuel search in general. And then obviously anyone running paid traffic inside of those queries are averaging 3 times longer traditional text searches. So that kind of just takes you back to my previous example on how people are changing the way that they search, meaning that what you used to type in the text box in the search bar on Google, that's now averaging 3 times longer, hence more conversational or more specific. So right here, as you can kind of see, that's why they are testing out these 2 new types of ads that are going to be baked into AI Max or based into our AI search and ads overview, which is simply going to be the conversational discovery and then highlighted answers within. So this first one you're showing here is just going to be more of the highlighted answers. This is where if you scroll down, I think it'll pop up in a second. Yep, just like that, where it's essentially showing you the quick tidbit of it. And then obviously the other one here is going to be the conversational discovery ads. So that's where we're talking about more longer tail, more specific, more conversational. And this is the whole thing on more conversational, more specific searches where the ad preview starts to look like this. You can see how different this looks from an ad. It almost looks like your ad with like a Wikipedia, like an interactive Wikipedia thing just kind of slapped right underneath it. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's so much more context. It's pulling more context and it gives the reader, the consumer, the potential customer a lot more context into their choice before they click your ad or before they move forward. So again, think about how people, and even you, like search Google right now, right? More, I call it choppy, more keyword based, plumber near me, or roofing repair in Phoenix. But when you talk to an AI, you change your behavior. You don't type roof repair in Phoenix or anything like. You're going to type out more of a longer form paragraph, more details, more specifics. Maybe you search something like my water heater is leaky, rusty from the bottom and it's clicking noise. What do? Do I need a total replacement? Do I need it to be repaired? Do I need to patch it? And who around me can do that? Totally different than just water heater repair near me, you're leading much more specific, giving it more details, and maybe even rambling a little bit. And that's what the AI search overview or these AI ads within AI mode need to be able to handle. And that's what the shift is coming. Then, of course, with that, Google will be sunsetting dynamic search ads, which honestly, I think we kind of all saw that coming. We're not really using that much. I mean, we have a couple select clients we use it for, and it works pretty well. But with something like this coming out, this is basically just an upgraded version of it, at least in my opinion. So that is a pretty big shift to some people. To others, maybe not that shocking. But yeah, I mean, now within AI mode and AI ads, it'll be using Gemini to match the deep intent, the context, and the specifics of whatever the conversational query is that you're searching in that kind of a text box. And it's kind of now going to be a text box instead of just a search query because you're texting or you're searching more conversational. And then obviously within that, there will be some guardrails and other things, but this is going to be natively placing it within their AI mode or their AI overview right inside of it and kind of putting in that ad. So the ads are going to visually look different, which kind of sets us into number 2. The brand new real estate Google is building for these conversational searches, which is pretty much most of what we just talked about in point 1, but technically it is broken up and obviously it does look different. As you already saw in the previous screenshots, like if we go back to here, it looks different. It just looks much, much different. And you've probably already been exploring AI mode, so you're aware of it. Now, this is a pretty good thing by WordStream. It's their graphic. This kind of gives you a good high-level overview of the difference. How are the two different, and how is AI mode going to be shifting ads? So you're probably used to seeing AI overviews when you already search things. It's just simply a little AI blurb. It's like to answer your question real quick. Now, AI mode is obviously upgrading that version of AI overview, and this is kind of where it is. A big thing, too, with this is that it can handle follow-up queries. So within the ad, you can almost talk to the ad. Because think about it, the ad in a way is kind of an AI. So you could talk to the ad and be like, well, is this company local to Tennessee? Yes, this company is local to Tennessee, and so on. So let me kind of show you another example of that. Again, really zoomed in. I'm sorry for the bad image here, but this is kind of a perfect one. So this person obviously is asking something regarding how to build a website, and perhaps this is an ad. This may not even be an ad, but it would still look very similar to where the ad would be at the very top here, and then it's going to now give you a much more conversational answer and approach. And right here, you can ask and directly talk to AI mode or directly even talk to the AI, which we'll talk about separately here in a minute, to get answers back and forth. Again, still within guardrails, still within context, but that is pretty crazy. Every ad you can pretty much have a conversation with. So the first of these two new ones is going to be called conversational discovery ads, right? So that's when you're kind of in the middle of back and forth with Google AIs and you're diagnosing a problem, trying to find a solution for whatever you're looking for. And then Gemini can dynamically give you an ad as well as some organic content with it. But that kind of just weaves in the business ads directly into the context of your situation. So the ads are kind of showing within the conversation that you're having in this AI mode, which is, again, kind of what we're seeing happen here, where we're looking at what I would consider an AI mode conversation. We're conversing, we asked a question, we got an output. Within it, there may be an ad, right? You can see here. So you take a look at this. So he come out with his answer, right? And it said something like Wix is good, and then here's a couple of the top website builders, and actually linked Wix as an ad. So this is within the conversation that we're already having with Gemini or AI mode or whatever you want to call it. This top one here is an ad, and then we could follow up and we could ask a follow-up question, which would obviously yield maybe additional queries. And then of course you have the second, which we just showed again, is going to be highlighted answer. So if the ask, I don't know, let's say maybe you're asking to compare something locally. What are the highest rated roofing companies in Phoenix that offer storm repair? And then Google AI will generate a curated list, sorry about that, based on its recommendations from reviews, the ads, the keywords, other third-party information, credibility, authority, all that stuff. And obviously the high-quality sponsored ads will kind of be just like injected into its own section and be highlighted. So let me kind of resurface what that means again so you can take a look. That's going to be these right here. So again, you can see we're within AI mode. We're kind of having a conversation. We ask a question and then boom, you kind of have like this fancy little box section, and that is how the ad would display. So that is going to be what's called the, let me see if I can find it, highlighted answers. You got highlighted answers. And then the other thing we have here, we go next, is conversational discovery ads, which again, honestly, maybe just read this blurb here real quick. It might explain it better than I did, but just take a minute, pause. Those are the two main kind of things that are being built into AI mode. All right, that was a lot. That was a lot of me scrambling and rambling about pretty much AI and its intricacies, or however you say that. So let's jump to the next one, the big one. The one I'm a little skeptical on, if I'm being honest with you. I'm a little skeptical on this. I think it could be the best thing ever, it could be the worst thing ever, or it could simply just be all right and just, take time for Google to learn and improve this feature, but you can kind of already see a glimpse of it. You've probably already seen it, but the biggest announcement in terms of just crazy to me is going to be this. It's the new tool called Business Agent, which is mostly for lead gen in my opinion, and this is really going to impact everything. I don't even know how to approach the difference between landing pages, ads, forms, conversion tracking, and all this. But I mean, as you probably just saw while I'm yapping here, if we go ahead and scroll down, of course, they're in AI mode. They're having a conversation with the AI like we just talked about in the previous example. Nothing shocking here, still pretty cool. But now you'll see it's injecting a form right there. And you can submit a form directly within search. We're not on the landing page. We haven't left Google. We're still in the ad. We're talking back and forth with the AI, and the AI just plugged in a form. So in a way, it's kind of like the new version of like form extensions. Like if you run Google Ads, you've probably seen the form extension that nobody uses. Like no one uses that. So they just built it in AI, and now that's a whole nother thing. That's crazy. And I laugh because, of course, this is where they have like the least amount of content and context on page for. We only get this one little snippet, and then we get the full video demo. So there's a lot of questions and a lot of unanswered questions, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, right here, instead of filling out a static form on the landing page, you can talk to the AI, the ad, and ask to chat, ask to submit a form, or it can probably like prompt and push the form if it feels like maybe you're, ready to move forward or qualify. But I mean, that's pretty crazy. So they're calling this your business agent for leads because, it's generating you leads. Of course, the user can still ask questions because it still is within AI mode. So, like, are you guys located here? Are your technicians licensed? Can I book in for tomorrow? Can I talk to someone, right? So it's kind of like a live customer support rep, live sales rep with guardrails, but it also is pushing the form. And then once you're satisfied or the AI is satisfied with your answers, it can pre-qualify them. Can submit this form, as you can see right here, within the AI mode. So again, we're not on the landing page, and I guess from there it would go into your CRM, or I'm sure there's a couple different configurations, but I mean, that's a pretty massive shift. I'm not saying landing pages are going anywhere. No. This is just like another layer. I guess this is like combining Meta in-app forms with Meta website campaigns. It's all in one now. Again, I know Meta's not Google. I'm just giving you an example, but this is basically the Google version of an in-app form, and I think it's awesome. Again, I'm skeptical. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm super excited to test it out and see how it is. I'm curious to know how many people will actually utilize this and submit their information versus how many people just kind of forget about it and still just click right through the landing page. Then, of course, there's a lot of other cool features coming that I'll cover in another video for the e-commerce. The universal tracking codes now, how Google Merchant Center is shifting, direct offers being built in, and of course universal checkout, which is crazy. I'll break those down in a separate video. And then of course we're basically having AI Advisor now being called Ask Advisor, just upgraded to the full max. This is going to be awesome too. It's going to be like an all-in-one Gemini for ads and marketing that syncs to everything. Like you can see here, it's synced to Merchant Center, Google Ads, Analytics, the website, and everything. So it has full context, full picture, and it's kind of like your mini Brandon Ewing Google Ads guy in your account. Just not as smart or as cool as me, right? But no, this will be cool, and I'm gonna have to do a full video breakdown of this here shortly. I want to kind of pick through it a little bit more and honestly test it out before I make a video on it, so I can give you guys some better context. But I mean, you can see here, if you've already used your AI Advisor in the platform, you can just imagine it's going to be that, but it's going to be better, hopefully. I know right now when I use it, there's some problems, or it's not always accurate, or it doesn't have the full context. So I think by syncing it to all the Google properties and everything, it's going to be pretty crazy to have like a superpowered sidekick on your Google Ads to help you optimize and make good decisions. So what does this mean for me? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for agencies and those of you who are actually out here running Google Ads? Do you have to flip the script tomorrow, shut off your campaigns, launch new ones, retrain the whole team, fire the agency? Please don't do that. No, these are going to be slowly rolled out, gradually over the next couple of months. I'm pretty sure the everything is really going to be hitting in August, September. September is what I've heard from a couple of different Google reps, and just at the keynote, I think they basically emphasize September quite a bit as well. So September is when you'll start to see these take more effect. And right now it's just kind of more of a gradual push. So we'll probably slowly start to see some of this drop or just slowly be integrated, but crazy. I mean, definitely start doing your research like this, look into these a little bit more, maybe get prepared a little bit, but nothing crazy. When they do drop in September, everything's going to be fine. Definitely some fun stuff coming. And again, as always, if you're looking to learn how to run Google Ads for yourself, your own business, do it yourself, or for your clients, you can go to the link in my bio and you can join my school community where we do weekly group calls, tons of content, a lot of updates, especially on stuff like this from Google Marketing Live straight from the source, and of course account audits and all that good stuff. If you don't want to be a part of the weekly group calls or anything else, or instead you just don't want to do it yourself, you can always work directly with me. Again, go to the link in my bio and you can find out more information as well as contact me directly and we can see if we're a good fit. Either way, any questions at all, any concerns, any thoughts on everything that's changing or anything that you picked away from this keynote in the Google Marketing Live 2026, drop a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about AI Max, business agents, all that new stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.